Today we're going to be talking about what every single UFC weight class needs right now. Starting with lightweight, the number one thing lightweight needs is a title fight. I know the last title fight was only a few months ago in June, but at this rate, it seems like there's not going to be another title fight until June of next year. And the main reason that is because Ilia Topuria is the champion, and it seems like he does not want to fight anybody who's not extremely high profile. He doesn't want to fight Arman Tsarukyan. He obviously wouldn't want to fight a guy like Max Holloway or any of these other lightweight contenders. It seems like he just wants to fight Islam Makhachev, and he might be waiting out for that fight. And if that's the case, obviously we're not going to get a fight for a really long time. And that's what's holding up this division right now. You have a guy like Arman Tsarukyan who refuses to fight. He's waiting out, thinking that he's going to get a title shot with Ilia Topuria, which is probably the last title fight that would get booked for lightweight. You have Paddy Pimblett, who's waiting out for a fight too. He didn't want to fight Justin Gaethje. All these fighters are waiting for a title shot, and Ilia Topuria doesn't want to fight any of these lightweights. There needs to be some movement in the lightweight division. It feels like how it was earlier this spring, where there's completely no action at all. So what lightweight needs right now is for all these contenders to fight each other and for a matchup to happen against Ilia Topuria. They need to book a fight like Paddy Pimblett versus Max Holloway, because right now the only big fights at lightweight are guys like Charles Oliveira and lower ranked lightweights fighting each other. And for welterweight, it's kind of the same story. What welterweight needs is for their contenders to actually fight each other. I feel like every single highly ranked welterweight contender thinks that they're going to be able to sit out and get awarded a title shot. But that's probably only the case for maybe Shavkat Rakhmonov, and that's it. All the other welterweights do not have enough hype to be able to sit out and get a title shot. You have guys like Kamaru Usman right now. I think he genuinely believes that he'll get a title shot off of that horrible performance against Joaquin Buckley. I heard he turned down a fight with Bilal. That's a fight that needs to happen. Bilal Muhammad versus Kamaru Usman. That's a perfect fight. Whoever wins that could actually be in the line for the title, but Kamaru Usman's never getting a title shot. The division's way too competitive. There's too many contenders. Ian Gary needs to fight, Sean Brady, somebody like that. Shavkat Rakhmonov needs to fight somebody before he gets the winner of Islam Makhachev versus JDM. Right now, the biggest matchup that's happening is Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates, which is a huge fight. And the thing with that is, if Carlos Prates actually gets a crazy knockout against Leon, he's going to jump the line in front of all these welterweight contenders that think they can sit out and get a title shot. What light heavyweight needs the most right now, I'm going to be honest, is for Alex Pereira to win. I'm not predicting him to win. I think he's probably going to get smoked by Ankalaev, to be honest. But I think everybody, or at least majority of MMA fans, are rooting for Alex Pereira and want him to get this win back. Because at the very least, we could get a trilogy. If Alex Pereira loses and he gets smoked, the best matchups we're going to have are Yuri Prochazka versus Ankalaev, which is a decent fight. And the rest of the fights are just not that entertaining. If Ankalaev can smoke a guy like Alex Pereira, I think he's going to have an easy time with a guy like Carlos Alberg or Jan Blachowicz rematch, or even Khalil Roundtree, and Jamal Hill definitely. I think the best thing that can happen to light heavyweight right now is for Ankalaev to get knocked out, a huge highlight reel moment to happen, because then you can either do a trilogy, Alex Pereira can move up to heavyweight, and there won't be a situation like there is at middleweight where Khamzat Chimaev has really no interesting matchup because he's like a minus 600 against every contender right now. I think the heavyweight division is most in need of change out of any other division, and it's because they have pretty much no new contenders at all. The new ones that are coming in are getting fraud checked by guys like Derek Lewis. There's probably less than 20 actual heavyweights in the division right now. Maybe 3 of them are actual contenders for the title. And with a guy as good as Tom Aspinall, he needs some contenders to fight. And the heavyweight division is the most lacking in that department, more so than even flyweight. So what the heavyweight division needs the most is for some new contenders, but not only contenders, but actual prospects who people might actually think could challenge Tom Aspinall. Because if Tom Aspinall goes out there and flattens Cyril Gane, there's going to be no hype with any upcoming fight with any contender in the division right now. The UFC needs to import some fighters from the PFL or something like that, because this division's going to get stale pretty quick after the Gane fight. And for middleweight, it's the same thing. They need more prospects, guys who actually seem like they could be able to put up a challenge against Khamzat Chimaev. Because if we're being real right now, there's a lot of contenders at middleweight, a lot of contenders that, have good wins or coming off good wins, guys who haven't fought for the title. But even those guys like Hernandez, Imavov, DeRitter. It just seems like they don't have a chance against Khamzat. With that performance he put on DDP, as dominant as DDP was, it's hard to believe that any of those guys will be able to stay on the feet and beat Khamzat Chimaev. So what middleweight needs the most is to actually have a new prospect, a guy who's good enough or seems good enough to challenge Khamzat Chimaev. The number one thing featherweight needs right now is for Volkanovski to get booked. The last time he fought was in April, and we still have absolutely no word on Volkanovski's next fight. I'm guessing he's going to get booked sometime in December, but at this point, I don't really know because there's not even a matchup that we think is going to happen. I don't think Movsar is going to get the fight against Volk. Maybe Lerone Murphy. It would have been Gene Silva if he didn't lose. Diego Lopez is obviously not getting another rematch against Volk, especially the way he lost. They need to book a fight with Volk because, I mean, this guy's not getting any younger. He's probably like 35, 36 years old. He doesn't have much longer in the sport, and it would be annoying to see Volkanovski lose in a way that we think it's just because of age and not his opponent actually being better than him. But down at Bantamweight, what they need the most is actually for Merab to move up to featherweight. After this Merab versus Sandhagen fight, which we all know Merab's going to win, I don't think Sandhagen has any chance of beating Merab. There's really nobody left for Merab. You can argue there's a rematch for Umar, but I feel like it's a little too early for that. And all the other fighters, Merab's beaten. We don't want to see a Piotr Jan 2 rematch. The guy got 50-45. Piotr Jan's one of my favorite fighters. The guy has no chance against Merab. I think the most obvious thing at this point for a guy who cleared out his division is to move up and fight a guy like Volkanovski, who's also kind of struggling to have a matchup booked for him because there's no real high-profile contender. The only problem with that is Merab, I think, refuses to go up and fight Volkanovski. So we're kind of going to be stuck with, Merab just lapping the division once again, unless, one of these new 135ers come up and make their name known. We're going to get a lot more rematches. But finally at flyweight, what this division needs the most is for new flyweights. The same thing that heavyweight needs. They need new contenders. The last standing contender in this division is Joshua Van. And if he loses, which I think a lot of us are predicting for him to lose, there is really actually going to be nobody at all. And it's worse than Bantamweight because at least Bantamweight, there's some interesting matchups. There's some well-known names. You could do the Piotr Jan rematch. He's a big name. He's a fun fighter. You have Umar, who, is kind of deserving of a rematch. Maybe not right now, but sometime in the future. You don't have that at flyweight. And once Joshua Van gets beat by Pantoja's real only option would be to move up to Bantamweight to get a new fresh fight. But kind of like Merab, Pantoja refuses to go up a weight division. So after he beats Van, there's really going to be nothing other than rematches, but rematches against fighters who really don't have that big of names. And I think if nothing really changes in the flyweight division especially, it's going to be one of the most dead divisions in a really long time.